Hello everyone. Good morning and welcome to today's The Hindu News Analysis. Myself Nitin K. Biju. I have cleared the Civil Service Mains and Indian Forest Service Mains this year. I have attended the Indian Forest Service interview and I am awaiting to attend the Civil Service interview this year. Coming to the content, today we'll be covering 7 main articles from the Hindu newspaper, which are as follows. Now, before going to the articles, please pause for some time and read the question given here. Try to answer the question by yourself, then we'll go to the relevant article in the next slide. Coming to the main article. Spare monkeys the virus, says biologist. As we all know, there are many situations where human beings are seen feeding the monkeys. So what the article try to say is that this might cause transfer of the mutated coronavirus from humans to the monkeys, which will cause bigger issues in the long term. As you can see here, feeding monkeys during the pandemic, it can help the SARS-CoV-2, that is the virus, mutate and infect the primates. What will this have? How will this affect? This could have two different types of effect. This could be lead to scenarios such as the virus affecting the health of the animal population, that is one aspect, as well as these animals could act as reservoirs to the disease and it can spread to other species or even human populations. So these are the two effects, negative effects if we continue to feed the monkeys. Also, what is the way forward? The way forward is to minimize the problematic human primate interaction. So I'll like to add one thing to this. So the why the diseases are prevalent in these days? Why viral diseases like Nipah, COVID-19, etc. are coming? One of the reason is that the forests are declining. Human beings are encroaching into the forest, cutting due to deforestation and all, and the reduced forest. Animals are also coming to human settlements for food, right? So this increases the human animal interaction. This is the main reason. This increased human animal interaction is one of the main reason that viruses are spreading from animals to humans and back to humans to animals, right? So here, the environmental perspective can be added, like afforestation is a way forward to minimize the human primate interactions. Now, coming to the prelims topic, if a disease, as given in the first diagram, if a disease spreads from the animal to human beings, it is termed as zoonosis, as mentioned here, zoonosis. And if it is the other way around, if the disease spreads from human being to animals, like in the last mentioned in the last article, it is called reverse zoonosis. It is also called as anthroponosis, right? So the just remember this for the prelims perspective. Now coming back to the practice question, consider the following fact about anthroponosis. First statement, it is an infectious statement. Disease is, there's a space, disease is transferred from animals to humans. So statement 1, we know that yes, it is an infectious disease. It can spread. And the second one, disease is transferred from animals to humans. This statement is wrong because animals to humans is zoonosis, whereas humans to animals is anthroponosis. So which of the four above statements are correct? So the answer is option A, one only, right? Now, coming to the second article, Goa is now COVID free. Goa on Sunday became the first zero COVID state in the country, with the last 7 positive cases also turning negative. So now Goa became the first green state in the country with no case being reported since April 3rd. As we all know, we have been classifying districts mainly into hotspots, potential hotspots, and green zones. So, as a state, as the entire state of Goa became free of COVID, now Goa comes under the green zone, right? First green state it becomes. So, that's all about this news. Coming to the next topic, Donald Trump has said that if China is responsible for, in any manner, for the spread of the coronavirus, then China should be facing the consequences. The relevant news article is here. US President Donald Trump said that China should face consequences if it was knowingly responsible for the COVID 19 pandemic. Also, Trump has done two things now. He has sharply criticized China for the lack of transparency. Also, he has already, like 2 3 days before, he has suspended aid to the World Health Organization. As mentioned here, he has suspended aid to the World Health Organization, accusing it of being China centric. Now, Mr. Trump has also raised question about a Wuhan virology laboratory. It has been reported that there was some conspiracy and this virus was intentionally developed by the Wuhan virology laboratory. So if that is the case, then Trump is telling that China might be facing big consequences for this. Also, recently, as we already covered 2 3 days before, China had changed the death toll. Initially, they tried to cover up the number of mortality deaths which happened in the country, but later, recently, 2 3 days before, it has increased the death toll again. So these controversies, these issues are creating international tensions. We don't know what might happen after the corona pandemic is controlled, right? So it can cause some international issues also. Now coming to the next topic, the Prime Minister calls for unity in COVID-19 response. The Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Sunday took to network site LinkedIn to speak to young professionals that adapting to new technology in times of COVID-19 can help create new business models and lead to engagement of large segment of Indians, including the poor. So here, the Prime Minister reached out to young professionals through LinkedIn, right? So here, technology is the solution. Technology can make a lot of differences in this time where the world is going through a very pragmatic, a big shift in the world order, right? So Trump is telling Indian youth to use this opportunity and bring out technology. We can help the new era which is coming. So here Trump gave the examples of his personal meetings with ministerial colleagues, officials, and world leaders, which are through video conferencing now. This was not the case before, where like physical traveling was an important aspect. Now we know that physical traveling is no more required. Like apps like Zoom are happening, though we have concerns about the security of Zoom, but these apps have helped video conferencing. Now, the need of the hour is to think about business and lifestyle models that are easily adaptable. As we all know, many of us have started work from home. We have started adapting to the COVID pandemic, right? Now, and he gives another example, the most transformational impact of technology. It has been like he has given the example of Jandan Yojana, DBT, and Aadhaar linkage. These are also the use of technology to make things easier, to make governance easier. It has reduced the corruption, rent seeking. Also, it has been the government was able to directly transfer money to the people, directly to the accounts in the click of a button. So these are the examples which the Prime Minister gave and requested the youth to use technology to come up with innovative solutions. Now, coming to the main article, a short of hope with a game changing vaccine. So, here, as we all know, the world is talking about a vaccine to the coronavirus. In this article, the author is telling about another type of vaccine which we might not have heard of. It is called a social vaccine. What is social vaccine? Before that, let's go to what is medical vaccine. As we all know, medical vaccine, we all have heard about medical vaccine. We'll be injecting vaccine, that is a downgraded version of the microbes. We'll be injecting into the body as vaccine, and our body develops natural immunity to it, right? So what is social vaccine? Here I want to tell you one thing. As we all know, HIV AIDS is also a pandemic. It is also a pandemic which the world is facing for at least last 20 30 years, right? But still HIV doesn't have a vaccine. But we are not scared about HIV that much as it used to be in the 1980s. So how was this possible? This is possible due to the concept of social vaccine. This concept can be asked in prelims, like directly what is social vaccine, or it can be added as a new dimension in the mains answer writing also. Now coming to the article, also recently the Union Health Minister has asserted that lockdowns and social distancing are the most effective social vaccines available to fight the pandemic. So the health minister has also mentioned about social vaccine. So it becomes very important for us to know what social vaccine is. So what is social vaccine? It is a metaphor for a series of social and behavioral measures that the government can use to raise public consciousness about unhealthy situations through social mobilization. So let me simplify it for you. It means that there are some social and behavioral changes done by the human beings so that the spread of the disease reduces. As simple as that. For example, now let us take the example of HIV pandemic itself. Then later we will just correlate with the COVID pandemic. So coming to HIV pandemic, we all know that HIV pandemic is said to have transfer. It's a zoonotic disease, as we already discussed what is zoonotic diseases. So it is a zoonotic disease which has transferred from chimpanzees to humans in the early 1920s. But it was detected in humans by 1981, and it became a pandemic by 1985. Right. Now, similar to the present situation, the early years of HIV/AIDS, it was also very scary. People didn't knew what it is, and there was no treatment. The diagnose, and if a person was diagnosed of HIV infection, it was similar to a death sentence. There was no way forward. So, from that situation in the 1980s, we have changed a lot. How was this change possible? It is through social vaccine. We can just take an example. So what were the social and behavioral changes which helped develop a social vaccine for HIV, and it got controlled? So the core prevention messages, the messages involved being faithful to one's sexual partner, or 100% condom use using sexual intercourse outside stable relationships, resisting peer pressure for risky behaviors, like especially in the teenagers, and harm reduction for intravenous drug use, like there was messages which were sent about that we should not use injections which are used by another person, or blood should be checked first before being transferring to another person. So these are some of the messages. I'm sorry. So these are some of the messages, the social and behavioral changes which have helped reduce the HIV prevalence. So this is an example of social vaccine. The social and behavioral changes which are done by the human beings to control the spread of a vaccine. I mean, of a disease. Right. So coming to the coronavirus, coming to the COVID-19 pandemic, we all know that we are being told about to maintain social distancing, right? Wearing the face mask, and all such like messages like don't do handshakes, try to do namaste. So these kind of social messages are part of the social vaccine. So this is what social vaccine is. We all knew what is social distancing, to wear mask, to avoid handshakes, all those things. But we didn't knew that it was a part of social vaccine, right? So I hope you clearly understood the concept of social vaccine. This is a very knowledgeable, I mean, informative article. Also, another aspect of social vaccine is that the people should hold the leaders accountable and to invest in testing the basic economic needs of the vulnerable sections of the society. So these the efforts from the government also comes under social vaccine. So now coming to the back to the AIDS, there is still no biomedical vaccine for HIV and AIDS, right? We all know HIV and AIDS doesn't have a vaccine as of now. Similarly, Corona also we don't know by when we can develop a medical vaccine for COVID-19. But till that time, social vaccination provides the way forward. So that is the crux of the article which is given here. It's a very informative article. Try to please read it completely. Now, coming to the editorial today, editorial is about focus on the curve. So as we all know, India is planning to give relaxation starting from today, that is April 20, right? There'll be relaxations in areas where the disease was contained to a good extent. But we have to we have to come to understand that different states have fared differently in the fight against COVID. There are states which have done exceptionally well, and there are states which are still struggling very much to contain the pandemic. So the article is about that. So as India prepares to partially relax the lockdown, the flattening, we have to see how much successful the flattening of the curve has been, right? Coming to the interstate disparities, Delhi has increased the tests per million people, and therefore they reported a higher percentage. So Delhi had increased the testing rates. But coming to states such as West Bengal and Madhya Pradesh, though the tests are less conducted less, but still they have a higher positive cases. This means that when the tests are increased, there might be more cases, more than what is positive as of now, right? And coming to states like Kerala, they have managed to trace, test, quarantine, and treat effectively, preventing new infections. Kerala was the most successful state in preventing, in controlling the disease as of now. Also, in also we can see that the prevalence of the disease is more in areas where urbanization is more, like for example Maharashtra, Delhi, and Tamil Nadu. Okay, so these are some of the observations, these are some of the features which we can see from the COVID 19 pandemic. And even in states such as Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, Telangana, Rajasthan, UP, Jammu and Kashmir, the cases are increasing. And recently, the ICMR data shows that on April 18th, the spike of the new cases were 2,154. This was the first time that the number of positive cases in a single day has increased above 2,000. So this is a cause of concern. So when the relaxations are given, we should ensure that people doesn't just go back to the normal state. We have to still ensure social distancing and all, right? Also, how should India's COVID strategy move on? It should focus on testing, containment, and treatment on one hand, also distress alleviation for the vulnerable sections. We all know the poor and the vulnerable sections are the most hardly hit due to this COVID 19 pandemic. There are economic issues, and there are health issues, and the old age people. So, we should be able to provide sufficient care to the most vulnerable sections of the society on one side, as well as we should improve our testing capabilities and testing, like mass testing of the mass population. So this should be India's COVID 19 strategy. Now, concluding, flattening the curve will require clear messages on preventive health and steps to help people maintain strict quarantine where indicated without suffering economic losses, and carry out regular surveillance testing and symptom monitoring. So here we should be able to balance two things. We should be able to see that the testing, the disease is controlled, and we should also ensure that the economy is not ruined. So these two things, balancing these two things will become an issue. Now coming to the last article for today, economy in lockdown. So this is about the economic impact of the coronavirus. As we have already seen, International Monetary Fund, they slashed its projection by 6.3 percentage points from a January forecast of 3.3 to a growth of 3 decline. This is like, in short, it is like there will be a 3% reduction in the growth rates, right? There will be a 3% reduction in the growth. This is in contrast to the recession of 2009 that put merely a 0.1% recession, right? So here what they're trying to say is that the economic impact of COVID-19 will be much, much more than the economic impact of the 2009 recession. So that is a thing which is told here. And coming to India, IMF has already cut the projection of India's growth rate from 5.8 to 1.9, 5.8% to 1.9%. So this also we have actually covered in an article some 2 3 days before. The IMF projections were covered. Also we have seen that in that previous video we have seen that the Asia will be the only region which will be growing at a rate of 1%. So all other regions will be having a negative growth rate. Now India's another concern is, like, India has a sizable number of informal sector. For example, 80 to 85% of the India's economy is dominated by informal sectors. So even so, this prolonged disruption in labor supply and in the formal parts of the economy, the center needs to proactively commit to a substantial stimulus package, as the government has already given under the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyana Yojana. The government should give more stimulus packages to ensure that when the economy is reopened, it has a legs to run. That is, the stimulus package can improve the demand of the economy. It can help the people to have more money, so they can the demand increases in the market, and slowly the economy will improve in the long term. So that is the idea, that is the idea which is discussed in the article here. So if you have liked the video, I hope you have liked the video. Please like the please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and press the bell icon so that you will get instant updates. And if you like this, please share it with your friends so that more and more aspirants benefit from this. Thank you. Have a nice day.